Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This is the start of a new series on my channel where I read books from authors that I've never read from before and I decide if I like them or not. So I'll be reading 2 books from every author that I start reading in this series. And the first author that I am blessing this episode with is Hazelwood because everyone loves her and I want to understand the hype. So in this case, I'll be reading Check and Mate and Love Theoretically. I'm starting out with Love Theoretically today, and I'm just gonna be listening to it on audio because obviously I don't know if I'm gonna like her or not. I don't have the best luck with romance authors, but I do love Emily Henry, and I don't mind Catherine Center, at least I don't think I do. So I'm not being closed off to any options. Check and Mate is obviously about a girl who's like a chess prodigy, but she took some time off and then she gets back on the chess scene and she falls in love with a fellow chess man player. And Love Theoretically is about a scientist girly. I don't actually know what type of science she does. I haven't started it yet, so I don't really know. And she's like fake dating on the side because currently science alone is not providing her with money for a stable income. So she's like fake dating to earn a little bit of extra cash, and she ends up like falling in love with one of the guys that she's fake dating, his brother. And that's all I really know about that one. So I'm gonna start listening to that right now. I have some planting to do today. Let me share with you what I'll be planting. So first thing is these really cute little, I don't know what they are. They're good for indoor or outdoor planting. I obviously don't know anything about plants, but I just bought these because they're cute. And then I also have some tomatoes to plant today, which I'm so excited about. And then I also, what is this piece of hair doing? I also have some, I don't know where I put them, but some snap peas. I'm gonna be planting those as well. So I'm gonna listen to my audiobook. I'm gonna plant my various items of vegetation, and I'll check in with you once I'm a little bit of the way into Love Theoretically and share my initial thoughts. I have planted all of the plants. In that process, I've gotten about 20% into Love Theoretically, and this is so funny. I'm so pleasantly surprised. I'm having such a fun time. This audiobook narrator is like delivering, and I know that for some people that's annoying, and a lot of times for me that's annoying as well. But in this case, because the writing is supposed to be funny, I'm having such a good time, and I think she's doing that tickles. I think she's doing a really good job. Such a goofy, silly, fun time. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really read the synopsis before starting this, and I'm probably not gonna read the synopsis of Check and Mate very much either before I go in. But I'm sure that the synopsis like mentions that the love interest, who is the brother of the guy that she's fake dating right now, is like a kind of competitive rival in her job field as well. He's like on the board or on the panel, whatever, of people that decide if she gets to fill this like physics professorship that's really coveted after. Elsie's like really desperate to get a job that actually pays her money so that she can afford to buy insulin because she's diabetic. And there's a scene when they first meet in the like professional context, because obviously she like kind of lied about what she does because she's just like the fake girlfriend, right? So she's like, the family doesn't even need to really know what I actually do. Like, nobody needs to know I'm a professor. So he meets her and he thinks that she's lying about being a professor because she's lied that she's a librarian. And so instead of having the confrontation that she's expecting to have with him, he just like doesn't believe her at all that she is in this field. And he's like, I don't know how you got this interview. Like, I don't know why you're playing with my brother's feelings. Like, you guys have a terrible relationship. And she's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm actually applying for this position. I actually do have a PhD. I'm not explaining the scene very well, but it was so funny. I don't understand like university hierarchies. I don't really get that, but she's getting like the high up professor, not like the low down like adjunct professor. That's what she's going for, the high up professor. So she's about to interview with him in his office on this campus, and I just can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm having the most fun. The last thing I wanted to say on initial thoughts so far is that I am so grateful that these characters have a really good, like, interesting chemistry between them, but they're not actually, like, dating yet, and they haven't actually, like, physically had any contact with each other. So I'm really appreciating the pacing as well, because I would just hate there to be insta-love. Like, this is gonna be hate to love romance 100%, and I think I love that. I think I love that for us. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys at like the 50% mark, okay? Okay, so I'm sitting outside my work, but I made it 55% of the way, 15 chapters through Love Theoretically, and okay, hear me out. This is still so cute and so funny, and like the relationship is starting to develop now, and it's just so fun. But I'm getting really annoyed by Elsie because she is so stuck on this paper that the love interest, Jack, wrote when he was like in high school, and he submitted it to a physics journal, like kind of as a joke, but it actually got published, and then it like put a bad name on like her branch of the physics world. I don't really know. Anyway, obviously, like at that time he was not even professionally involved in the field, and like it was a joke. It was a joke. We all do stupid things when we're 17, and she's like so stuck on the implications of this, and she just is like insisting 24/7. She's like, he just hates my branch of physics. He's just biased against all of our physics. Even though over and over again, he's like, I have so much respect for your branch. Like, I work with people in your branch all the time. Like, you're adding such a great thing to the physics world. I don't really know. And so she just cannot get over this paper though. And I'm like, girlie, you gotta like move on. Like, she's just being so annoying, and I'm just gonna need her to get over that, because if she keeps hanging on all of this from 15 plus years ago, then like she's ruining the story. So I don't know, I just feel like that's becoming a little bit much, but obviously we still have another 50% of the book, so I can probably get over it as long as she shuts up about it, because he's already even given her like an explanation for why he did it. I'm like, why are we still holding on to that? She needs to let go. Good morning. Every time I've tried to film today, this has happened, so we're just gonna roll with it, because I've tried to take this clip 3 times and she's just feeling very lovey this morning. Say hi. Last night I finished Love Theoretically, and it was like fine. It was better than I was expecting. I think overall I'm gonna give it like a 3.5, 3.75 stars. It was a fun time, but my major issue was that, of course, the third act conflict had to do with the thing that was irritating me so much, the like paper that what's-his-face Jack wrote, and it was just a bit much for me. Couple of things that were sprinkled in that I thought were either fun or just silly. The pacing as far as like the smutty scenes goes, I thought was really, really good and like well done. Although the like smut scenes themselves, I was kind of scarred by a little bit, but that's okay because they were also a little bit funny. So our main girlie is obsessed with Twilight, and it becomes her like whole personality for at least 10% of like the second half of the book. That was just a little goofy to me. She obviously goes through some character growth and development, but I still think that the third act conflict was dumb and that our main girlie handled it poorly, but whatever. So with that said, I don't think there's really anything else that I have to share about my feelings about this book. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to Check and Mate now, and I'm gonna give you just a better plot synopsis than I did in the beginning of this video. So we're following our main character, Mallory, who used to be like really, really good at chess, but something happened with her dad like 5 years ago maybe, and she quit and she hasn't played since. But she ends up going to this like charity event that her best friend is partaking in, and it's like chess involved. So she ends up playing chess against, wouldn't you guess it, the #1 chess player in the world named Nolan, who is our love interest. And they're just gonna have a fun, good time as Mallory starts to play more chess and Nolan starts to simp over her. And as far as I'm concerned, that is the only thing we need to know going in. So I'll talk to you when I have an update on that. Hi friends, I don't actually have a book update for you, but it is my birthday today, and I did go to the bookstore because even though I'm not buying physical books just randomly this year, it is a special day because your birthday only comes once a year, and I wanted to buy some books. So I did, and I don't really know a ton about any of them, to be honest with you, but I just thought I would share them with you because we don't do book hauls on my channel really. I am gonna do like an actual sit down birthday book haul video that's either gonna come out the same weekend that this comes out or the following weekend. It depends on when I finish reading Allie Hazelwood. But I've already been talking for so long. I just wanted to essentially like show you the covers of the books I bought today, and then we can really dive into this in the video where I actually know what I'm talking about. So this is a modern classic that I don't really know anything about, but I really like the cover and I know that it's a modern classic. So adding it to the shelves. Again, another book I know nothing about, but am obsessed with the cover. This is so good. Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. We all know that this is a thriller. It's essentially like the same story that she tells in every single one of her thrillers, but just set in an apartment building. This book, which I think is nonfiction, but could be fiction, I don't know. The whole thing that really got me about this was, one, I love this cover, and two, it's told through an anthropological lens, which is obviously what I went to college for, so I'm interested. This book, which I have had on my radar for so long, and I think it's just like a weird book. Like, I just think it's a weird book. But I finally found it today, so I got it. This book, which is a translated Japanese lit fic. If you don't know, I love me like some Japanese storytelling. It's just something about the craft of Japanese storytelling that just like gels with me so good. And this cover's so cute. Look at it. It's so fun. This book, which is an ARC, because my bookstore gives you a free ARC on your birthday, because obviously they can't sell them, but they can't just have a giant room that overflows with ARCs. So if you go on your birthday, you get a free ARC. So I chose this one, which is a thriller, and it's pitched as a gothic supernatural Nancy Drew-like novel set in Arkansas. So sounds great. And then I also got this book, which I have seen around, and I don't really know if I've heard good or bad things about it, but I really, really like this cover, and it's nice and short too. So wins all around. I'm just so excited. Anyway, I'll see you when I have an update on Miss Allie. Good morning, friends. I am about 50% of the way into Check and Mate, and I am really, really liking it so far. Mallory is a mostly fun character to read from. I love Nolan as the love interest. I am actually shocked that there has been so little, I don't want to say smut, because this is YA, although I have heard that this is like not YA when we get to the smut. They haven't even kissed yet, and it's 50% in, and like I so appreciate that, because they're like mutually pining for each other, and Mallory's like refining her love for chess, and Nolan is obviously like very quietly supporting her through that, and it's just really, really cute. He's obviously the classic Allie Hazelwood, like giant hulking very attractive man, and she's a tiny woman. And I just think it's just a little goofy, but like I'm loving the premise. The writing is good. I love the banter that they have. I like that Mallory's kind of finding herself again in this hobby that she has excluded herself from. But now that brings us to the things that I'm not really enjoying so much thus far, because I have a big problem when characters have like a trauma in their past that they constantly refer to and they constantly are thinking about or start to think about, and then they're like, no, I won't think about it. And like we just have no idea what really happened, and they're constantly doing it. Like I find that so annoying. So something has happened with Mallory's dad in her past, which has caused her to like quit chess however long ago, 3-4 years ago, whenever she quit the first time. And she's always like, but the thing that happened with dad, no, I won't think about that. Or people ask her about it and she's like, no, how dare you ask about my father? Like I will never disclose what happened. But then she thinks about it and she's like, but that thing with dad, no, I'm not gonna tell you what it is. And like, I find that so annoying. I'm like, girl, just tell us what it is. I get that it's a plot device because she's gonna end up opening up to Nolan, and like it's gonna be the first time that she's told anyone about her trauma, and it's gonna be a really healing experience for her, and it's gonna bond them together. But like I hate that. I will say this, like in a weird way, is definitely kind of paralleling. Is paralleling a word? I don't know. The Queen's Gambit, as far as like general plot goes, like the only woman in chess, and she ends up being like the best ever, which again I'm also finding a little annoying, because like, are you really telling me that she took 4 years off of chess and then like she immediately beats literally every single person? Because I don't know if I believe that. I find that a little bit annoying as well. I'm like, I wish that we would have seen her struggle a little bit more and have him support her and help her through it, rather than him just like being like, I'm so proud of you for winning, you're so good, because she just automatically wins everything without a struggle. I just find that a little frustrating as well, because I feel like our character needs to struggle a little bit and learn from their flaws for us to truly fully like believe that they're real in a sense, you know? But overall, I'm having a really fun time with this, and it's making me want to rewatch The Queen's Gambit so bad, because obviously this is like a light, fluffy version of that, essentially. Like, if The Queen's Gambit had been a romance story, I think that this is what it would have been. But this segues me into the point that I wanted to make, where it's been like a while since The Queen's Gambit came out. And if you read this book and you really like it, I think you should watch the show. I actually think you should watch the show regardless, because I think it is one of the most amazing pieces of cinema that I have ever watched in my entire life. I don't cry often when watching movies or TV, but that episode, if you've seen it, the sad episode, broke my heart, had me sobbing. Seriously, one of the most just beautiful pieces of television out there. So you should watch that if you think that this book was good, or even if you didn't think this book was good, I still think you should watch it because it is amazing. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna do this afternoon. I'm gonna go on a walk, I'm gonna listen to more of the audiobook, and I'm gonna watch some of The Queen's Gambit. And I'll see you when I have an update, okay? And look, the sun's coming out, yay! Hi friends, I just got home from work, and earlier today on my drive to work I finished Check and Mate, and it was so good. It was so fun. I had so much fun reading this book. I loved the relationship between the two main characters. One thing I love about young adult romance is that the romance and like the smut doesn't take over the story. Like, we actually get character development, which I appreciate so much. However, I will say the third act conflict in this book made me so mad. I hated it. So I subtracted a whole star from my rating, just because I hated the way that it was done. I hated the way that Mallory like handled the third act conflict. It made me not like her anymore, because it just made her seem so annoying and like ungrateful, and she's just being so hypocritical, because she's in this tough situation, right, where she's like paying her family's rent or mortgage or whatever, and she's like taking care of her family and like out of the goodwill of her heart. But then this like might be a spoiler, I don't know if you don't want to hear it. I'm assuming if you clicked on this video, like, you've already probably read Ali Hazelwood, or you're wondering if her books are good. I also just don't feel like romances really have spoilers, but like, if you don't want to know anything about the third act conflict, maybe just skip forward like 20 seconds. Anyway, the issue is she is like doing all of this financial stuff for her family out of like the goodwill of her heart, but then she finds out that Nolan is the one that... Is Nolan his name? The love interest, I think his name is Nolan, maybe. She finds out that he has like paid for her fellowship at the like chess place that she is represented through or whatever, and she gets so mad and she's like, you lied to me, like, how dare you pay for my, like, this is the issue, like, I don't even understand why that made her upset. She's like, why did you lie to me? Like, you just did all this so you could like beat me in chess. I'm like, girl, what? Like, he is so obviously in love with you and like paid for you to play because you made him like re-find his love of playing chess. So why are you being so hypocritical and being so ungrateful? Because she constantly complains to her family that they're ungrateful for her financial goodwill. Yet when someone else gives her financial goodwill, she's just like pissed off about it. Like, I don't know. I didn't really understand it, and it made her seem annoying and ungrateful, because obviously this man is like the chess champion, right? So he has like millions of dollars and this really fancy apartment. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not actually how it works in the real chess world, but in this world, like, last year he won like $3 million at the chess championship or whatever. So like, it's not like it hurt him to pay a couple thou for her to go to this chess school. Like, I just don't understand why. And it made me dislike her quite a lot. And then the end of the book just wrapped up like a little bit quick for me, to be honest with you, but I did like the epilogue, and overall the story was really cute. So anyway, I'm getting really hung up on the third act conflict because I just struggle with third act conflicts and romances, and that's why I traditionally don't love reading romance, because I just think that the third act conflict is always stupid and ruins the book. So anyway, those are my final thoughts. Overall, I gave this 4 stars. I thought it was fun, and we can successfully say that I would read something else by Ali Hazelwood. Alright, now that I've finished both of my Ali Hazelwood books for this video, I thought we could do a run through of her kind of story formulations and tropes and things that she uses in her books, which honestly, I could have told you this before I read either of these because this is what she's known for, but I just thought it would be fun to do a quick recap, so I have created a list for you. The most well-known trope that Ali Hazelwood uses is that her men are towering towers, quote from Love Theoretically, and the woman is a tiny little pixie that weighs nothing. This creates the protection dynamic. He's so much bigger than me, and I feel safe when I'm with him, and he is so large and big. And she doesn't let you forget it. She'll remind you throughout the whole story that this man is a hulking giant man. Next, I was gonna rip these off, but that feels a little bit dramatic. Our main girly is always quirky. She is a quirky woman. She has weird traits that actually are not weird at all. Like she likes Twilight, or she likes niche board games. And she's always a people pleaser that sacrifices her needs for everyone else in her family, and the family, on top of that, is always terrible to them and has no respect for our heroine. So that's also a formula that's coming through here. Another plot device, obviously another very well-known feature in Ali Hazelwood books, are women in STEM, or women in a male-dominated industry, because obviously like chess isn't STEM. I don't have anything else to say about this point other than that we're always following a woman who is like the only woman around her in her professional life. Miss Ali loves to make an argument for women's rights. And lastly, the most irritating thing, in my opinion, about Ali Hazelwood books is the third act conflict is always, you lied to me about whatever, even though it was for my own benefit and you didn't do it to hurt me, but I hate you now and I'll never forgive you. And this is my least favorite kind of third act conflict. I think that it is so annoying. I have said annoying in this video so many times. I was editing myself and I was like, girl, you are saying annoying in every sentence, but it's just the best word to describe the situation because this is irritating. This is bothersome. I'll see you in another video soon. Bye.